Good day everyone and welcome to another vlog for the Exodus 7 to 12 kgV project. This is going to be a very short update, so I'm going to do this as fast as possible without trying to overdo it. So what you're looking at right now is what the Egyptian citizens looked like last week. Now remember I made a short list even while we were going through this about the pillar that needed to be added, about the dust that needed to be added. But there was one thing that I didn't add to the list, and that was to fix the feet. Now, as weird as that may sound, the dust took longer than the feet. So what you're seeing right now is what it looked like last week. And if you zoom in, you can see that their feet are firmly planted in the ground. You can see sometimes you can see the bridge of the foot a little bit, but pretty much most of the time the feet are buried firmly in the ground. You can see this over here with this dude. So I want to show you what it looks like now. There you go. Look at that. A lot better than it was. The whole goal is not to have everyone's feet firmly planted on the surface, because that's just not going to happen without them floating off the surface. So the goal is just for a lot of feet to show, like this woman's over here, this child's over there, this guy's over here, this little lady over here. But you still see some people's feet are buried. But the good thing is that it looks better. You can still see more feet, so that's absolutely fantastic. You can even see it over here. Look there. Okay. So what I also did was I adjusted the concrete so that the concrete almost has a wet look to it. That was not the goal, but I know that sometimes when concrete is handled a certain way, it does have this wet appearance to it. You can also see that I added the dust. They're very similar in texture size, but they're just offset from each other so that you don't get the gray directly over the brown, that sort of thing. Just procedural textures. And of course you can see that the pillar has been added over here. So that looks great. So that's it for this image over here. Now you remember this guy from last week. You can probably remember that I did this one from Moses. I pretty much just removed the beard and darkened the hair and changed the outfit's colors and cut it a little bit and that sort of thing. Ironically though, when I modeled Moses, for some reason, I don't remember why, I thinned his waist out quite a bit. So if you were to turn on the whole body mesh that you would get from Make Human, you would see that his legs actually come out to about here, which is kind of ironic, but I like the thinner look. You can see on his legs that he's supposed to be a little bit wider over here. And this is the other guy, also based off of Moses, but I opened his eyes a little bit more, increased the size of the iris, and I gave him a little hat. I don't know why they wore these hats, but there were certain slaves, or at least workers in Egypt, that wear these hats. They're almost like mini turbans. They're like a cloth that's wound around the head. A lot like this, but I didn't add any lines to it because I wanted to keep it as low detail as possible. This is an extra character. This is not a main character. And I also saw in some hieroglyphics that they had this stripe on the bottom of the skirt. Now that's not always the case. Sometimes it's just a flat white, but I kind of like the stripe, so I added the stripe. And of course this is a little bit lighter because this can also be like fabric that's folded outward, so it can have a slightly brighter appearance. It's just to add a little bit of variation. So I really like this character. It's very cool. Okay. And this is a guy based on Aaron, as you can probably tell from the beard. But what I did was I made the beard a little bit more scruffy, a little wider and a little shorter. And I also added more lines to his face to make him look older. And I moved the path from the part in his hair a little over to his left side. I also want to push the hair in a little bit over here, but that's not really necessary. It's just something I would like to do. I really like the way the fabric belt turned out. I like the colors. I originally wanted to go for a blue and yellow, but the blue and yellow seemed a little bit too... I'm going to use the word boyish. It's too childish in terms of the shades that I wanted to use. It was these soft, not canary yellow, it's a little bit more muted. But it just didn't work. Just really, really didn't work. But this pale red and very faded mustard yellow ochre type color was absolutely better. I also left the vertical stripes in from Aaron's actual garment and added the horizontal stripe that we also have in Moses's derivatives. Ach, derivative. And I changed the staff as well so that it's thinner at the top, more consistent. And I think I made it a little bit longer, but I don't recall exactly. I also need to add some lines for his toes. The sad part about characters like these that I'm showing you guys is that they won't look this cool with the edge tool. For those of you who don't know, the edge tool in Blender was the old way of adding outlines to objects and things like that. So you didn't have any control over lines like these in the face. If you got lines in the face, it would be because geometry determined that there would be a line in the face, and that would be it. So if I wanted lines in the face, I would have to create almost like a crevice in his face. But that would create weird shadows and too much detail and all that kind of stuff, so it's just not worth it. Okay, and a second derivative. Also more along the lines of the workers. I made the staff longer and gave it a little bit of a shepherd's curve. Not entirely, but it's almost there. Has almost like the look of a cobra. Anyway, so I really like this pose and I really like his face. Now at the moment, I haven't gotten to the children yet, in the sense of having a finished male child character for the Hebrew people, Israelites. But this is what I have so far. So what you see here is that I literally just imported him from MakeHuman and just turned the default skin shader into a toon shader, which is not even finished yet. And then I went to bed last night. So at the moment, this is where I'm at for the week. Not a lot, but I'm very satisfied with the quality of the stuff done. That's it for this week. I hope you guys have an awesome day. Have a great one, and God bless you.